Feeling anxious? You are not alone. I've been feeling it too. That's why I want to share a simple 10-minute creative practice that will help regulate your nervous system. So if you feel caught in the loop of racing thoughts, anxiety, procrastination, feeling stuck, this is for you. First, hi, I'm Meg. I talk about creativity and the nervous system as a way to help you slow down and connect with what's really important. I've been on a 20+ year journey of self-discovery and healing, and it hasn't been pretty. I've sat with ayahuasca in the jungles of Peru. I have studied the masters, Eckhart Tolle, Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've read the Bhagavad Gita, Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. I have been on a quest to understand who I am and why I feel the things that I feel. And every modality or book or master has taught me something important, but I've always felt like something was missing. And then I started making art, bad art, every single day. And something inside me really shifted. And that's when I discovered that creativity is missing from all the self-development and healing discussion. Creativity has helped me process difficult emotions. It's helped me work through procrastination, heal difficult memories and things that have happened to me in my life. I generally feel lighter, happier, and more myself. Now, don't get it wrong. I am not perfect. This is a practice. This is progress over perfection. But I just want to share that this simple act of creativity and this creative practice has the potential to change your life because it has changed mine. And here's why. Being creative actually regulates the nervous system. And this practice does it in a way that is easy and accessible. Think of your nervous system like your body's main operating system. And there's two modes. You have the sympathetic state, which is known as your fight or flight. In this state, your heart rate goes up, your breathing becomes shallow, and your body is primed for survival. It doesn't matter if it's a saber-toothed tiger or an email with a subject line from your boss saying, "Can we chat?" The body is primed for survival and it's ready to fight or flight. The second mode is a parasympathetic state, and that is known as your rest or digest mode. Here, your body feels safe, your heart rate slows, your breath deepens, and your mind can wander. This is where a majority of the healing takes place. This creative practice is designed to bring you back into the parasympathetic state for a calm, regulated nervous system. And of course, there are other ways to get there. You have meditation, breath work, yoga nidra. They all are amazing tools. But for anxious energy, I find that mark making is especially powerful because you get to do something with that energy and not overthink it. And here's some quick science behind it. This is so fascinating. So rhythm signals safety. Repetitive marks like spirals or dots echoes these repetitive movements that we've known since infancy. And this signals to the nervous system that we're safe. Next, we have bilateral movement. Moving your hand back and forth across the page engages both sides of your brain and can help restore balance. This is especially powerful if you use both hands at the same time to draw or to color. Next, we have sensory grounding. So the sound of the pencil on the paper or the brush strokes on the canvas can really anchor us into the present moment. And this will help pull us out of anxious loops. Then we have flow state and dopamine. Even simple doodling for 10 minutes can activate a mini flow state. And through this flow state, you can release dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter found in the brain that is responsible for feelings of pleasure. So this creative act can really help to elevate your mood. And then we have expression without the need for words. So sometimes it's difficult to put into words what we're feeling, but through expressing ourselves creatively, through expressing ourselves creatively, we remove the need for words and instead can express ourselves through shapes or colors or movement. So in short, being creative through making marks on paper combines rhythm, movement, sensory grounding, and expression. And these are all known nervous system regulators. So now we know why this practice works. Let's get started and put it into practice. All right, let's do this. For this creative practice, we are going to embrace the creativity around mark making, drawing, doodling. Now, what we're doing is mark shapes using colors that may not make sense. You don't need a plan. You don't need to draw anything specific unless you really want to. But the goal is to really express yourself and what you're feeling. Let's start with the sketchbook or the paper that you can use. So there's a bunch of different options, and I want you to just grab what you have on hand. This is not about having the perfect supplies. This is about just doing the thing. So this is a sketchbook that I got from the dollar store. It was probably $1.50 because nothing's $1 at the dollar store, but really nice, clean paper, a little bit thinner, which is great if you're just drawing or doodling. And so, yeah, you can find something like this at the dollar store. I love getting a pad of watercolor paper. You can get this from Amazon as well, or your local Michael's art supply store. And what I like to do is I like to rip these sheets out, and then I might like fold them in half and then kind of make them into smaller sizes and have a couple that I'm drawing on at the same time, just to take away the preciousness of having one sheet and it having to look perfect. That's just another idea. Absolutely nothing wrong with good old printer paper. I love drawing on printer paper because it's such low stakes and I'm not precious about it. So that is another option, printer paper. And then you can also find like a drawing pad. Find these like maybe on sale or, I don't know, kicking around your house or at a friend's house. And you can always rip out pieces and use this. I love my watercolor notebook and I'll use this sometimes, but I love just a random piece of paper as well. So I'm worried about this making noise. So those are your options. And yeah, you can have a sketchbook. Sometimes sketchbooks can seem a little intimidating because you want what you put in there to be nice. So just use whatever will get you started. Then for the mark making itself, I love it. There's so many different ways and different tools. So you can do, I think the easiest ones are watercolors. And so you can get these at the dollar store or you can pay a little bit more at the art store. And you have so many different colors to choose from and you just simply add water and that's it. And they make beautiful colors. You can use, and then you just kind of have some brushes that go along with it. Again, the quality of brush does not matter. I have expensive ones, I have cheap ones. I don't even know which is which, honestly. Then I do love pencil crayons or colored pencils, whatever you call them. These ones are watercolor pencils. So if you add water to them, they have really neat effects. So I have a couple colors that I really like. Pencils work really great. You can shade with them. You can draw straight lines with them. Really amazing for making marks. And then pens. So you can have just a regular ballpoint pen. And then I love like the felt tipped markers. I love these Stabilo ones. This is a fine 0.4. Then these are kind of fun. These are more of a calligraphy felted pen. And then good old Sharpies. So yeah, and I forgot. I love a pastel. So I have all my favorite color pastels here that I use. I have some tubed watercolors, which you can mix up as well. I have some ink that sometimes I add on just to go crazy. And yeah, so those are all tools. You can have an eraser, sharpener, honestly, anything to get you started. If you have crayons, it just does not matter. This is about the practice, not about the end result. Okay, so step one, gather your materials. I'm gonna get this going. Step two is to get cozy. So find a place with minimal distractions, a place that you can freely express yourself for at least 10 minutes. It's quiet. You want to turn off your phone, get cozy. So maybe make yourself a cup of tea, put on a good playlist, your favorite songs. Maybe you want to light a candle, light some incense and make a ritual out of it. The more special you make this, the better. But again, you don't want to create too many hoops for you to jump through. So you never end up doing it because you think that you have to set the perfect space. This is about the actual practice of it. And then we will set a 10-minute timer. Now, 10 minutes is an achievable task. We do not want this, again, to feel daunting. 10 minutes is easily achievable. We're talking about these small wins that build consistency over time. And if you get in the flow and want to continue past 10 minutes, go for it. But let's set the timer for 10 minutes. I hope you're joining me. This is super fun. And let's do this. Okay, so that is 10 minutes, and I'm really curious how that went for you. What I'd like to do at the end of every 10-minute creative practice is to quickly journal anything that might have come up during the session. So, what I was feeling, maybe what I was thinking, if I've noticed a difference in how I feel from before I started to after. There's literally no right or wrong way to do this. So take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't, and really strive to make this practice your own. I know that I started this practice today because I was feeling really anxious, and I could definitely feel some of that anxious energy come out on the paper. And then now, if I check in, I feel a lot happier. I feel like my mood has elevated, that I kind of did some work here, some processing, some integration, and I'm really excited to continue my day. I definitely feel more grounded, and I hope that you feel better as well. If you did do this practice, I'd love to hear how it went. Feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what might have come up for you or how you're making this practice your own. I'd really love to hear from you. And if this messy creative practice really resonates with you, I would be so grateful if you'd subscribe. I have more of this on the way. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week.